After about a month of waiting, it's here. Let's go on up to the gate and see what we've got. Drive backwards. Okay, we'll just drive forward. Bumper has arrived. All right, what do we have here? This is a Dirtworx bumper, rear bumper. This is to replace the worn bumper that was destroyed last year, and this is more or less the final chapter of Operation Phoenix. I've got a knife. I've got some paint prep stuff. I am mostly going to get this all cleaned up. Get it primered with spray paint. I'm using spray paint because it's a rear bumper. Bumpers are going to get hit. And it's really nice to use common colors and easy to grab cans from Walmart because it's just super easy to touch it up. So, gonna do a little bit of cleaning and we'll get this thing all set. This is what's got to come off. This is what got hit last year, and this is its last ride into the garage. Guessing we're going to need a 1/2-inch socket for most of this, and if I remember right, I am missing my 1/2-inch. Nope, the 1/2-inch is the one that I have. I don't have my 13. Nope, these little guys are probably 14 mil. I cheated, and I only bolted this on with 4 bolts. And if you watch that whole episode of us doing all those kinetic pulls, it was on 4 bolts. Oh yeah. You know you wanna. Wow. I can do it. I can. Oh. Yeah, I actually think that other bumper's lighter. Whew. Oh yeah, you can definitely see where these bumper holes have been abused. They're not sitting square in this world. Definitely need to do a little bit of fine adjust here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have been coating this thing with primer for the last couple hours. I'm going to get a good dusting of white. Sit up for a couple hours, or minutes, and rinse and repeat, and over again. And then let it dry for a couple days. Meanwhile, I've got holes drilled out for the frame brackets, and I went through my entire collection of nuts and bolts, and I've got 3-inch and 2.5-inch, but I don't have any 4s. So 4-inch, 7/16-inch bolts, and tomorrow's 4th of July, so that'll be a Friday run. So plenty of time to paint and plenty of time to slow down, because the only thing that makes painting come back, stand there. Round 2. 2 trips to the hardware store for bolts. I have, I hope, the right size. I have lots of sizes. This is 7 bolts per side of the bumper, probably completely unnecessary, but it is what it is. I am thinking what we might want to do is start with the short ones and go up and in here first to hold it.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to, since we're now using these longer bolts, go that way.
Right.
So, anything you want me to prep before we push it on up?
Where does it get screwed in up here? Where does this lip go?
Well, that lip goes under right there.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to take the whole thing off while we're out those holes. This is what we're going to have to do. So after all that work getting this on here, now the whole thing has to come off.
Well, now with the right size bolts over there, getting it on was a little bit easier. Was quite a whole lot easier this time.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it comes off. After getting the Dirtworx bumper bolted up, I got worried about the corner of my tub and rocks. There's a lot of empty space right here. Dirtworx actually offers a slightly longer version of the bumper if you ask. I didn't. So I started working on CAD, Cardboard Assisted Design, and I mocked this up. Let's build it. Blade is shot. We used it up putting the metal deck on the dump trailer. It did a couple good cuts, but I think it's time to switch over to this. I also have my acetylene torch, but acetylene torch, I spend just as much time with the grinder cleaning up the edges as I do just grinding them out in the first place. past it with a grinder, got it all smooth. You can see I have quite a bit of fill-in weld to do. So for the next round, on the other side, I'm going to make sure I lay it on a little thicker. Right now I'm going to get the welder and just buzz in a little bit and grind it again. Oh, the second pass was a splattery fill-in mess. The wind is starting to come up and it's blowing away all my shield gas. The joys of welding outside. Alright, I am fairly happy with this side. The bumper is definitely going to have to come off. I can't reach some of the splatter underneath there. I got to clean up those welds. And I'd like to weld it from the inside to really puddle it in and thicken up those corners. But that's done. Moving on to this side, I've put some blue masking tape on there to hopefully catch a little weld splatter from wrecking all my great paint. And I am going to weld this one in and see if I can get anything to match the other side. Alright, this side is now tacked on. There's a couple little problems with it. I think this bottom is just a little too long. You can definitely see it right there. But I think when I get the bumper off, I will make that cut because we still need to cut the bottom piece there. And I'd like to fill in the inside with weld to really reinforce it. I think the outside welds are more or less going to be cosmetic, and the inside ones are going to be the go for broke. I don't know what I'm doing, so when in doubt, weld the living snot out of it. I actually think that's a halfway decent weld, at least as far as I go. Not too bad. I mean, could be worse. Alright, laid it on extra thick in a couple places this time so that I don't have to make 4 passes filling things in. And I'm on the shady side of my carport inside of my brand new shop that I need to finish, which I probably should be working on. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so it should be a lot easier to grind out. That's the plan anyways. Squared a little weld there, maybe a little there, maybe a little in here where I dug a little deep. There's a little bit of pock marks in here, but I think a good fillable primer will take care of that. That needs to be ground down a little bit more, but overall I'm nitpicking because from 20 feet it looks great. Yep, not so bad. Not so bad at all. I think I can live with that. It's time to get these bolts out and get this thing off and do the flip side. I think that's looking really clean. Okay, I ground a little sliver off of that edge, and then I made this cardboard template right here because that is going to be our piece of metal. It needs to fit right there. And actually we need to cut that corner back. Yeah. Not too bad. Yeah, we need to cut that corner back. Trim this side. Bad Mac, bad. Bad Mac, bad. inside of the corner all welded up. I'm not showing you the other one because I let my friend practice on it, and he got to practice, and that's what practicing is. It's hard to see back there. Even I wandered off target, so you do what you can do when you can do it. I ended up with a really nasty gap I had to fill right there, and that's just ugly, but watch it grind out. It'll be nice and pretty, and you'll never even see it. These things are smoking hot. Let's start grinding this one first. Shout out to Benchmark Abrasives. I buy their stuff. They don't give it to me free, but you know, hint, hint. This one floppy disc right here, which is pretty worn down, you can see what a new one looks like, has done this entire bumper and a couple other little odds and end jobs. So these things last, and they're great. So you can see how much heavy grinding I've been doing on these corners. Fill and cut, or fill and weld. So big shout out. New floppy disk. I made a short work of that, but you can see all sorts of fill and voids and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to give this another quick pass with a welder. Gave everything a quick run over with a little sander. Cleaned everything up as best I could with some rags and some lacquer thinner. We give the ends a little fog coat, just to let them get a little set up. This is also going to bring out all of the mistakes that I made. That was way more than a fog coat. Bad, Mac, bad. A little bit at a time. Let that dry, and off to town to go get some white paint because, well, I used 2 cans on this already. Looks like we're going for 3. All right, bumper is all installed and ready to go. We're off to the Rubicon here in a few days. I have done as much prep work as I can to this thing. I am trying to keep it light because the last time we took this thing on a long overland camping trip, kind of like what we're doing on the overland, or on the Rubicon, we blew up the rear differential, we blew up the rear shocks, lots of bad things, we had to get rescued. Not good. I'm trying to avoid that, and I'm trying to do that by keeping everything light. At the same time, I've done a lot of upgrades since then. I got rid of the Pro Comp shocks. We now have Curry springs, or Pro Comp springs. We now have Curry springs. A lot of stuff different. I'm hoping I've set ourselves up for success, but I am trying not to put a lot of weight in this. So we're going to camp as minimally as possible. So that's there to protect rocks that come. So if we're dropping off of a rock and the rock comes up, I want it to hit this and not crush that. So we'll see. Will all the work that I did to weld that up work? Or are my welds that terrible and they'll all fall apart? You'll find out soon when you see us take this little pig down the Rubicon. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great day. I appreciate your support. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We've got channel memberships if you want early access to our videos. As always, I appreciate everyone. I will see you all out on the trail.